Hi, I'm John.
I'm Dean.
We're here with Chimney Cricket TV. Today we're discussing chase covers, chase pans, and also different types of chase covers. Chase covers are important because for a factory-built fireplace, they keep the water off the chimney. They fail after a certain amount of time, and a big reason for that is the way that they were constructed originally. Chase covers originally were built by the actual homeowner on a house, and they were built out of sheet metal, and basically they didn't have any of the things that now we know that they should have, such as ridges on the top of a chase cover, as you see here in the back. They don't have a nice seal around the hole, and the collars aren't as high, or if they don't have the collar. And then also on the sides here, on the side here is this one, they don't have the drip edge with the 45 for the water to run off. Here at Chimney Cricket, we construct these chase covers, many different styles and many different shapes and forms. And today, we're going to go over how to measure for a chase cover for your home. Like I said, there are different types of chase covers. There are some that have, over here, we have decorative sides, typical decorative sides that hide holes, which you'll see, and then also just chase pans, like you see here behind us. Chase pan is a typical application. One benefit to having decorative sides on a chase cover is that you will hide the pipe, and it also will deter a downdraft. So those are two things that we suggest on a chase. If you don't like to see the sides, and that's something simply you put on the form that you'll see on the video here. There's a form to fill out for a chase cover, which Dean is going to go over how to measure. So we have why you need to replace them is because they're faulty. They're faulty. They allow water and moisture to get inside the chimney. It falls on top of the chimney, not on top of the chimney, but on top of the firebox. It will rust out your components. You will get mold. You'll get the actual chase itself will start to erode. Having a good chase cover is almost like a shoebox top going on top of a chase to protect that water from the entry of getting inside the chimney, because chimneys deteriorate from water getting inside and doing their damage. A good chase cover from Chimney Cricket will prevent the water from getting into your chimney. So, what do you say, Dean? Let's show these customers how we're going to measure for a chase cover.
We're going to measure our longest side first. So let's go with let's say this is our longest side here. I'm going to go ahead and measure it. Here we have 55.5. We're assuming that you're measuring the original chase cover here. We got 55.5. We always want to go a ½ inch bigger than that. That'll give us a ¼ inch plate on each side, so that way we're not fighting putting this on. So we're going to say this one is 56 inches. This is our long side. Then we want to go clockwise around the chase, and we want to measure this being our second side. Second side is 27.5. Again, let's go 28, just to be on the safe side. Next side is going to be going clockwise again. We're at 55.5. Again, let's go 56 so that we're not fighting it. Then we go back to our last short side, and we have 27.5. Again, we're going to go 28 just to be on the safe side so we're not fighting it again. So this one is perfectly square. The reason you want to measure all four sides is because you could typically have a chase that is built out of square. And if the chase was built out of square, we need to construct the chase cover also out of square so it'll be a perfect fit on that chase. All right, once you got the length times width, all four sides measured, next thing on our form is do we want a drip edge? Yes, we absolutely recommend a drip edge. The drip edge is this area down in here. It's beveled at a 45-degree angle. That'll actually cause the water to drip off of the drip edge so the water is not pouring down the side of the chase. Okay, next question on our form is what's the height of our skirt? The skirt is this part here. How far does it overhang the top of the chimney? Typically, it's going to be 3 inches, but you want to measure just to be on the safe side. And yeah, we're at 3 inches. That's your standard skirt length. Once you get the skirt length, the next question on the form is, do you want the metal to be cross broke? Absolutely. We always recommend that the metal be cross broke. The cross break is this diagonal bend that goes from corner to corner both ways. That cross break, that diagonal bend, not only adds strength to the metal, but it also gives the metal a type of crown to where it will shed the water. Typically when the builders build them, they just use a flat galvanized sheet metal. The water sits up there, it'll rust this sheet metal out very quickly. With the metal being cross broke, that greatly lessens the rust time, because it'll actually shed the water rather than hold the water up on top of the chimney. Okay, now the next thing we got on our form is we want to measure for our holes. We want to measure the hole diameter. All right, so again, we're talking about your existing chase cover. If the piping is in the way, if the piping is not in the way, you can measure just right across the diameter. Here we got 13. We're going to go 13.5. We always want to give ourselves a 1/2 inch so that we're not fighting anything here. And that 1/2 inch play is not going to affect us one bit. If your piping is in the way, then you want to measure the circumference. Take your tape measure around the circumference, nice and tight. Here we got 41.5. If you divide that by 3.14, which is pi, that'll give you your diameter. That'll give you your 13-inch diameter. Again, 1/2 inch bigger, so we have some play. All right, so now that we know that what our hole diameters are, again, do the same thing if you have double flue. We're talking about a double flue chase cover. Okay, now we want to measure where these holes are going to be cut and placed into the chase cover itself. So we're going to start with this guy over here. From your longest side, let's pretend that this is our longest side. We're going to call this measurement over here A1. All right, A1 is going to be 6.5. Now these measurements have to be right on. Don't add a 1/2 inch to them. These measurements have to be right on. We have 6 3/4 from the edge to the edge of the hole. All right, so we're going to call that A1. A2 is going to be from this long side over here. So you measure from here to here. We have 42 3/4. Again, don't add a 1/2 inch to that, make that exact, 42 3/4. Going to A3. A3 is over here. I'm going to measure from the edge of your chase cover to the edge of where your hole's at. Here we have 13 5/8. And just fill that in on your form, 13 5/8 for A3. A4, it's going to be right here. 5 and, let's go 6. Right at 6. So mark 6 inches right on your form for where it says A4. All right, then moving to our larger hole. If it's dead center, just let them know it's dead center. If it's out of square, you're going to measure from each edge and make sure it's dead center. If it's not dead center, if it's offset, say it was over here somewhere, then we have to go to the B section. We measure B1. We'll call this B1 over here. B1, 7 1/4. Write that in for B1. B2 is going to be this measurement over here, 22.5 to the edge of our hole from the edge of our chase cover. B3 is going to be this measurement over here, 6 3/4 from the edge. And then B4 is going to be from this edge over to the edge of the hole, 20 inches. Mark that right under where it says B4. Okay, and then are you going to have collars around your holes? Absolutely, you have to have a collar. Standard height on the collar is 2 inches. This is the collar here. You need to have the collar so that you're not having water pouring down in between the edge of the chase cover and the piping. Typical height on the collar again is 2 inches. And we're going to go ahead and write that down as our collar height is 2 inches. Our next question, does hole B have a collar? Okay, yeah, both our holes have collars. Both our holes are going to have 2-inch collars around that. Mark that on there. That's basically it.
So you got double flue or double hole chase cover here. They come in more than that, right, Dean?
Yeah, I mean you can have them up to where upwards of 4, 5, 6 holes in one chase, depending on how many gas appliances, how many fireplaces they have going into the chimney. But your typical chase cover is going to have one hole dead center. Sometimes it's going to have a second hole. Usually don't run into 3, 4, 5 hole chase covers too much.
All right, so just stick to the form that you see that comes with the order sheet. Usually the simple, easy steps, and then the installation steps that Dean had showed, and we can get that process for you. Just another great product here at chimneycricket.com.